Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 40 of Direwolf20's Let's Play. As you can see, I haven't even left the room that I was in when I ended episode 39. I'm still right where I left off. I do want to pop in here and just check on things. Looks like I'm at hull heat 950, pretty low, not a major deal. Definitely a good amount of uranium cells have been drained, and I'm pretty sure the fact that the bars here on the coolant cells are stronger than the uranium cells means we're definitely not having any heat problems. So that's a good sign. So the first thing I want to do in today's episode is finish this lighting system, make sure I have everything working exactly the way I want it to be, and then we'll move on from there and see how things go. Alright, I'll be right back when I'm ready. Alright guys, so the first thing I'm going to do here is just move these things over, just to make it look nice. And I might consider moving them in a little bit of a different pattern, but we'll see what happens. I'm not entirely sure how I want to lay this out. I haven't perfectly planned this out in my head just yet. So I need some smooth stone here. Probably going to need a little bit more going forward. I'm just going to knock this wall down. And yeah, definitely I need some more smooth stone. So let's go with this pattern. Green, yellow, and red. And I think what I'm going to wind up doing here is that green means the reactor is running, red means the reactor is off, and yellow means that the reactor has run out of fuel and is currently waiting to be refueled. Now a couple people suggested why don't I set it up so that the yellow light means that it's currently on a cooldown cycle. Well, I think I'll be able to determine the fact that it's still cooling down by going in here and looking at the nuclear reactor. And I can look at the coolant cells to determine what the status is. I might go ahead and just put down a separate light to determine currently in cooldown mode. We'll see. But for now I want yellow to indicate that this reactor has run out of fuel and is no longer transmitting energy. Alright guys, so I think the easiest way to do what I want to do here is I'm going to grab myself some iron, good amount of redstone, and maybe grab myself a couple levers, but for now this should be good. I'm going to make some more wireless transmitters and receivers, and this will give me the opportunity to kind of build a nice system of logic gates to figure out exactly how to do this, and then I'm simply going to transmit the results of the logic gate system directly to the lights. This way I can very easily set up a light system downstairs and upstairs, and I can probably have as many light systems as I wanted. All I need to do is set up some more wireless receivers and lights. So to get started here, let's get some iron ingots, some torches, and let's say 3 wireless transmitters, because we have 3 sets of lights, right? Okay. I'm also going to have to do 3 of these guys. Let's see, I have any wood on me? I do, hooray. I'm going to go ahead and say, well, I just need that. 3 of those. And again, iron on the corners, and redstone on the sides. And now I've got some more wireless receivers as well, so that will all work out pretty good. I've got myself a timer and a NOT gate on me. I'm probably going to need a couple more logic gates, and I think now might be a good time to go ahead and build a system that I've wanted to do for a while. Building red power logic gates is a pretty involved process, so it's probably a good idea to build an automatic crafting table system for this. Now I'm going to have to go ahead and add on to my existing DM furnace situation. So right now I've got the dark matter furnace set up so that it can cook up all kinds of good stuff, right? I can cook up cobblestone into smooth stone, I can cook up iron into refined iron, and I can even cook up sand into glass. But let's go over here and get my remote ordering tool. You know what, do I have any? I need to get some glowstone probably, so let's just get a handful of that stuff. I'm just going to request 12, that should be good. And I'll pull out the basic logistics pipes that I have in here. So let's go ahead and craft myself a quick crafting pipe. And boy is my inventory full. Probably don't need half this junk in here right now. Okay, that looks good for the moment. Now what I'm going to do here is pretty much place a new crafting logistics pipe right there like that, and as you guys should know, place a piece of smooth stone in and we get our stone wafer. So that's a good way to get 2 stone wafers from 1 smooth stone. So let's get this guy here and tell it that smooth stone equals 2 stone wafers. Perfect. Excellent. Everybody wins. Now let's get ready to build some more automatic crafting tables, because we're going to have to do quite a few of these. There's some basic systems that need to be built right now. So I'm going to go ahead and craft up just a couple more wafers. That should be enough for now. And let's request a few more automatic crafting tables, and I'll be back once I've got all the components I need. Alright, let's place down 4 automatic crafting tables. Boom, 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 and boom. And we'll tell one that we can do this to get a stone wire. This guy, we'll tell it how to make those angled thingies. What are they called? Anodes? Yeah, anodes. This guy will learn how to make a redstone torch. I'm going to need 2 of them. Thought I had some hanging about. Thought I had a bunch of... There they are. It's hard finding stuff in that big old bag. So there we go, stone cathode. And finally this guy will be told how to make a pointer. Stone pointer. Perfect. And you can see I already crafted myself a few crafting logistics pipes, and it's a simple matter of placing them down and telling them exactly how to work. So now it's real easy for me to get the components of my logistics stuff, and I can pretty much build logic gates pretty fast from red power. So that looks good to me. And that guy down there is a... good. Everything we need to have happen is happening, I'm pretty sure. So, yet another complex build. Things are getting a little complicated now, aren't they? Right. So let's go downstairs and start building what we need to build. So pretty much right now we've got 2 conditionals. We've got the frequency coming in over 20, which tells me that there's energy coming out of the system, out of the nuclear reactor. And then we've got this lever here, which when the lever is on, the reactor is off. And when the lever is off, the reactor is on. Maybe a little complex and backwards. I could always throw a NOT gate in there if I was really concerned about it, but I think it works for now. Within this room, we're going to have to set up a nice little system combining this line with this line to determine when we want to emit certain signals. So let's see. First off, I want to control the red light. So I can place a wireless receiver up here behind the red light. And let's call that frequency 21. Why not? And let's see what happens at the moment. See, that's not what I want to have happen, because it's sharing. So can I block that? I think I probably can with a stone cover, maybe? Nope. Alright, I might need to just move this guy back a little bit. So if I put something like this, let's grab some smooth stone and make it look a little nice, actually. Could probably do that and say frequency 20. Now if I place a redstone wire like this, that works, right? Cool. And then I can do the same here and here. And this can also be 20. Okay, and they're not all going to be 20, obviously, but I'm just making sure that it's not sharing. Because sharing is bad. So we'll put down our line, and I'm going to need some more of those nifty little slivers. There we go. All I have to do is separate these lines like so. And then I can place down my red alloy wire, and pretty much whatever light is on is going to be turning on the light up there. Might be a slightly more compact way of doing this, but I think that's fine. We'll make this frequency 21, we'll make this frequency 22, and we'll make this frequency 23. So that's cool. Now, let's go ahead and start building up with this wiring. Alright guys, so I think the simplest way to set this up is build a system so that if there's fuel in the reactor and it's on, it needs to be emitting a green light. And if the reactor is on but it's empty, it needs to be doing a yellow light. Okay? And then finally, if the reactor is off, it should be emitting a red light. So the simplest way to do the red light is really just connect right here. I'm just clearing out a little space for my wireless redstone to be sitting. Let's place down a wireless transmitter here. Make it frequency 22. Right, now 21. And we'll just connect our redstone wiring to it. That should be the easiest method of getting it going. So basically we're telling it, hey, if the switch is off, like so, the red light is on. That means the reactor is not running, and it's being disabled by our lever. Cool. Let's just adjust our sound real quick. Now, the next condition we have to be concerned about is whether the reactor is running and it has fuel coming out of it. So that'll basically be another gate. So let's do this. I'm going to probably need a NOT gate for this, and I'm not sure if I have one. Yeah, I do. I have some NOT gates in here. Perfect. So that'll come from here, and we'll combine this guy with this guy in a pattern like this. And I'm thinking what this will do, and hopefully I'm thinking this right in my head. So 23 is green. So if this light is currently off, do I need this at all? Actually, I don't think I even need that. If there's power flowing through it, we want the green to be on, right? So let's just do that simply enough. So I'll break this guy here. Kind of hard to think out a plan, but you know, while you're trying to talk and be entertaining. But I'll figure this out kind of as I go along. So yeah, what you want to do here is basically lay it out so that pretty much if there's energy flowing through the system here, that obviously indicates that the light should be green. And if we flip the lever off, energy will stop flowing through the system, the green light will turn off, and the red light will turn on. That'll say, hey, my lever's off. Cool. Works, right? So now the only conditional we have to worry about really is the one where the yellow light will turn on. And that's where I'm going to need to use some gates. So let's place down another guy right here. That should be good. Make him 22. And what we want to say is this should only activate when this thing is off and this lever is off. Okay? So what I'm going to need here is probably a reverse AND gate. So I think that's a NAND, right? Let me check. I was close. I need a NOR gate. A NOR gate is defined as the output is on when all inputs are off. So in order for this to work, I'm going to need to get myself some goodies here. So let's throw this junk away. Let the ender chest take care of all that stuff. And I probably won't need any of this coolness. Okay? I'll let the ender chest take this guy away, and let's get our remote orderer ready. So for a a NOR gate, I'm going to need 4 of these guys. Request. I'm going to need 1 of these, 3 of these, and 1 of these. And all the goodies should start flowing my way. I'll get up my Philosopher's Stone and get ready to craft it. So the stone wafers can go here, 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 and here. Okay. And my NOR gate, I'm going to need my stone anode at the top. I'm going to need my stone wires down here. And the stone cathode can go right there. And that'll give me the NOR gate. Okay, so let's test this guy. I'm going to put a NOR gate right there. And that'll be the output. Get some redstone wiring down. Wait, what gate did I just use? NOR gate, not a NOT gate. Huh. And we'll place our redstone wiring like that. And right now, we'll just have this connected here, and this connected here. Okay? And what should happen is, if this lever is activated, it won't emit a redstone signal. The only time it'll emit a redstone signal is if all sides are off. So basically, if the reactor lever is on, so it's green, and we're receiving power, it's not in the yellow state. But if we're not receiving power, it's in the yellow state. Okay? And that'll tell me, hey, my reactor's trying to run, but I don't have any juice. Alright, uranium's run out. That's a good indication right there. And if my lever is off, okay, then the light's red, and that indicates, alright, my lever has been turned off, and we don't care about the state of uranium right now because the reactor's not trying to run, so the yellow light's going to be off too. And I can reconnect this to indicate that. Okay, but for now, I'm going to turn it on, and it should go from red to yellow, because for a brief moment, energy is not flowing through the wire, and then green, meaning we've got energy, everything's good. Alright, I like that system, that's kind of neat. And now it's going to be real easy for me to go ahead and take some wireless receivers and just go 21, 22, 23 and set up a similar system upstairs. Why don't I go do that right now? So let's find a good spot on my house to place this. Looks like it's dark out, so I'm just going to sleep real quick through the night. I built my wireless receiver. I'm also going to need to get a few more pieces of glowstone and redstone, so why don't I grab that out of this chest? There we go. And I know it'll automatically be refilled. Hooray for that. And I'll get myself, from my miscellaneous junk category, some cactus, some red, and some yellow. Craft up real fast, just by placing this here and here. I got my 2 green, 2 red, and 2 yellow. And 3 of these guys. Green and redstone. Green lamp, red lamp, yellow lamp. And we'll place these guys outside. I'm going to need this wiring here. And also going to need my receivers. I'm just going to put this outside this wall. Let's put them right here, why not? Okay, so I'll place down the... How did I have it downstairs? Can you believe I already forgot how I had it downstairs? Was green on the left or red? Yeah, green on the left. Oh boy. Where did he come from? Not cool, creeper dude, not cool. Must not have just enough lighting down here. Let me clean up this mess and I'll be right back. Alright, all fixed. Now where was I? Right, going upstairs. And what happened? Did I lose power down there? I didn't test this yet. Oh, yeah, I lost a little piece of cabling here. Oh, might as well use glass fiber. It's what I have on me. There we go. Alright. Need to adjust my sound level again. It looks like that nuclear reactor was getting a little bit loud. So green was on the left, was it? There we go. Green, yellow, red. And then I can place out here just some stone that does something like this. You can see I crafted myself an extra iron fence. I need to clean that up in a minute. But we'll do this guy here, here, and here. And place down my wireless receivers. So it should be 21. And the red alloy wire. Two, 23. And make sure we have our stone cover strips. Perfect. Back inside. That's not bad at all. So now I have a remote system that's alerting me to the fact, hey, I think you're running low on juice down there. So green means reactor's running, everything's good. Once I see that it switches to yellow, it'll indicate to me, hey, we've ran out of fuel. And then when it switches to red, I'm going to know, oh, okay, I have it turned off. Cool. Now I might want to do one more thing, and oh man, he even destroyed my levers down here. What a jerk that creeper was. Let's see if I can guess and remember exactly where these levers were. I think they were right here, right? Yeah. Alright, so there's my door open. Probably even get hooked up here real quick. Let's grab some wood. I want to put some signs up. There we go. And this will be door control. And this guy here can be reactor control. Perfect. Alright guys, I think there's one more thing I want to probably set up down here. I did mention I might add a light to indicate when we're on a cooling cycle. So let's do that now. I'm going to break in here, It's going to be an extension of the yellow light. So basically what's going to happen is, as soon as the yellow light turns on, I'll know that I've run out of energy in my reactor, and I need to start counting down for when I can start running it again. So if we check this guy out, we've still got plenty of energy in there, plenty of uranium left to run, and we're still producing a good amount of energy. Plenty of energy flowing into these guys. Look at all that stuff. Nice. Now what I'm going to do is run over here and hopefully come up with a pretty compact and simple system to determine when I need to let this guy run. So as soon as this turns on, we want it to trigger a timer. Now timers run when they're not receiving a redstone signal, right? So I'm going to need a NOT gate. Okay, makes perfect sense. So place down our thing here and a NOT gate. And that's going to indicate to me, alright, start your timers. And the timer will start as soon as it's ready. So let me think exactly how I want this to run. So I think for building this guy, the best way to test this is by just setting up a little timer system with a lever for now, instead of actually being connected to this. This way I can flip the lever and test my process. Okay. Now what I want to have happen is, as soon as it receives a redstone signal, meaning that the yellow light is on, as you can see over there, I want it to start letting this timer run. But there's two things. One, I only want the blue light, is what I've decided I'm going to use, blue for cooling, to be turned on when we have this machine running, right? So right now, while it's spinning, it's not emitting a redstone signal. And when it's waiting to spin, it's also not emitting a redstone signal. So that's a little bit of a conflict, so we're going to have to sort that out. So I'm going to go ahead and request a bunch of stuff here to make an Xor Gate. So I'm going to need 3 of these, request. I'm going to need 3 of these, request. And I'm going to need 3 of these, request. Oh, missing 2 redstone torch. Right, I never told it how to make redstone torches. Problem. I'll be back. I'm going to go up here, request from myself the components to make an automatic crafting table to teach the system how to make redstone torches. Alright, good a spot as any. I'll just break this guy here and connect a crafting pipe. Keep my system running. Throw down an automatic crafting table here, and nice and simple recipe, of course. Redstone plus stick. Redstone torch. Now my system should be more than capable of handling what I'm trying to tell it how to do. Just need to get my wrench here and teach the crafting pipe. Sweet. Now let's go ahead and request our 3 anodes, right? Cathodes. Whatever. Those things. Now it should craft the redstone torches for me. Perfect. Looking good. Alright. And let's craft that Xor Gate that I'm going to need here. So Xor would be these guys here, this stuff here, and this stuff here. Xor. Perfect. So I'm placing down my Xor Gate here, and I'm going to do something like that. Okay. And basically, cool, I guess. Run some wiring like this. There, and then your output will go to my transmitter on frequency 24, right? So what should happen is, as soon as this signal turns on, okay, and let's bump this up just like to 30 seconds or something like that, 42, perfect number. When this signal turns on, it's going to activate this guy, and he's going to start counting. And I need a way to get this Xor Gate to behave. Why is it not working like I think it should? Okay, I think I'm just wiring this funny. I need to run this guy to here. I don't want him to be activated by this, so I need to place down a strip, which I should have a bunch of. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So hopefully what will happen now is when I flip this lever here, should be transmitting and activating the blue signal, which will be 24 once I have it all built and ready. And this timer starts. And I want the timer to only run once. So that's the next piece I have to figure out, is how to get it so that once this guy runs once, he stops running. Let's shrink him down to like 5, just for now. So he runs once, and I want him to stop as soon as he hits that tick. So what I'm thinking I want to do is break this guy off here and call him a toggle latch. And I just grabbed one out of my system. Remember, I had one sitting upstairs that I didn't use a while back. And this way, what'll happen is, first off, we want this guy on, but we need to face him the right way. There we go. That looks good. Alright, not what I want to have happen yet. Alright, let me sit this guy up right. Alright, so I think I need to move this a little bit, so let's just move all this stuff over. I know I'm breaking everything I just built, don't worry. I told you guys I'm kind of building this as I go along, not exactly sure what I'm doing, but I'll figure it out, don't worry. So what I want to have happen here is, as soon as this guy receives a pulse, it's going to let my timer run. So let's do it like this, right? So timer's on, or timer's frozen, right? And then it's going to receive a pulse, and that's going to let the timer run. Okay, now what I need to do is pretty much just place a redstone alloy wire like this, and then it's going to stop. So what will happen is, look at that little system, huh? That's pretty nice. So once it receives a signal from this guy, number 22, boom, it's going to run. And it's only going to run once. Cool. Now we can set down our Xor, which will be right here. Let's see if I can make this nice and compact looking, right? So we'll do that. We've got this side and this side, so we need to run a redstone alloy wire like this into there. Okay. And we'll run this guy along to here. Okay. So right now it's in a cooling cycle, which is not true, obviously, but that's because... So let's see. Don't want it emitting that right now. So I might need to change this from an Xor to something else. I just have to move my NOT gate here, I think, right? So if I put a NOT gate here, that will prevent it from running, right? So let's simulate a cooling cycle, alright? Let's pretend we ran out of uranium. So we're going to hit this lever, and we're going to make this interval 6 seconds. Why not? So, boom. Flip the lever, and it's, alright, cooling cycle for 6 seconds, and as soon as the 6 seconds is over, the cooling cycle is done. And that's 24. Sweet. I know I'd figure that out eventually, right? So, frequency 24 now indicates we're on a cooling cycle. Perfect. And we can even simulate it real quick by breaking this wire. So, let's pretend we stopped receiving energy. Alright, so that didn't work. So I might need to move this up just a bit. Let's do this. So it looks like this guy's not going to work off the wireless redstone directly, so I might need to move this guy back just a bit. So what I'll do is I'll swap this. This was 22, so remember that. Now if I put 22 on the transmitting side, right there, that works, right? So, cool. I'll put this guy there, and frequency 22. Alright, so let's simulate this, right? Break that, yellow light goes on. Why are you not picking up from this receiver? I might need to do this with a wireless receiver or something. Let me figure out exactly why. I guess this block is not transmitting through to here. So I'll have to fix that. And I'm thinking the best way to fix that is just by doing this. Knock this guy off here, place this cable like so, and then this guy, nope, not there. How about transmitter? Here. And then just place down a nice strip here. There we go. Make this 22. And now let's test this out. Simulating the fact that we have a loss of power while the green light is still on. Yellow light goes on, timer goes, blue light is on because 24 is active, and then blue light is off. Sweet. And then we resume power, and it did not turn the blue light back on, see? But the yellow light's off. Then we lose power again. Ta-da! And off. So now let's go find a nice spot to place this blue light. Let's place it, I guess, right next to the... Should we put it, like, under the yellow light, or above it, or... How do I want to lay that out? Alright, so right now I'm going to craft my blue light. Should be pretty familiar with how to make blue Lumar at the moment. And I need some more glass. Supplier system glass, please, and remake some more. Sand should be flowing. There it is. Good. And, I'm going to need 2 blue lights. There we go. Remember, blue means cooling. And down we go. I'm thinking my blue light should be kind of near my yellow light to indicate, yeah, yellow means we're out of juice, but blue being on means cooling cycle. I don't like it being next to red or yellow, don't ask me why. So I'm going to knock this guy out here and place the blue lamp right on top. Looks like a Tetris piece. Anyway, back up here, you can see I already just mined out a little area. I'm just going to place my receiver here. That might transmit straight down for me, and I don't even need any wiring. So let's try with 23. Note that because 23 is on, we can even do it with 20. You can see that that's all good. So let's go up to 24. I'm going to set this cycle timer here to 10 seconds. Let's even make it 15 and give it a test. So I'm going to knock this guy off. Oh no, we lost power. That means that yellow is on because it's currently out of juice, and blue being on means, okay, we're in the middle of a cooling cycle, don't put any uranium in there just yet. And then once the blue light turns off, it'll mean cooling cycle's done, we can go back to fueling our system. So, put that back on, and I guess it would probably be a good idea now to actually set the timer interval to what it needs to be. Alright, so we can set this timer interval in seconds, and according to the little Java app that you can use to look at nuclear reactor designs, the cooldown of the particular nuclear reactor that I'm using is 69 minutes. And as we know, there's 60 seconds in a minute. And I'm going to go with 70 minutes. So let's just make it an extra minute of cooldown time to make sure everything's good. So that's 4,200 seconds. So I have a bit of clicking to do. I'll be back when I'm done. And approaching the home stretch there, 4,200 seconds. Perfect. Now we should be good to go, and you'll notice that as soon as I break this wire here, it's going to take a heck of a long time for this timer to go through 4,200 seconds worth of moving, but that's cool. That's what we want it to do, because that's how long it's going to take to cool off. And by replacing the light there, you know, we kind of told it that that's okay, right? I think so. Yeah, it should be good. Just make sure of that. Alright, yeah. So the one flaw of this system, just because of the way it's set up, is that if I refuel the reactor before the cycle is completed, it won't stop the counter. But I don't think that's a huge deal. So that's okay. Now's probably as good a time as any to run in here and just check the temperature. See, 3,200, not a big deal. Water won't start evaporating until it hits the 8,000 point, and melting is the 13,000 point. So being at 3,200, like I said, no biggie. And I can seal up this wall now, don't need to get in there anymore. I like that, pretty spiffy. Let's go upstairs and see. I think it's nighttime, and I was trying to sleep a minute ago to get outside, and it was telling me there's monsters nearby. Don't like that mechanic, by the way. What do you mean there's monsters nearby? I don't care about monsters, I just want to sleep through the night. Anyway, let's place down our wireless receiver up here. Set him up to frequency 24. And make this guy a blue light. There we go. Perfect. And everything should be good. Now when 24 is on, it'll turn on the blue light up here as well. And I think that's pretty sharp. I'm happy with that. And guys, as I know you loathe to hear, this looks like it's a pretty good wrapping up point. Or as Kraft requested, the maker of logistics pipes, I should say this is a pretty sad looking wrapping up point. So I think I'm going to wrap up episode 40 here. Hope you guys enjoyed checking it out. As usual, because this is a 10th episode, it's going to be another world upload for you guys. So check the link to the forum thread in the description of this video, and you should have the ability to download the world as of episode 40, where I've done a bunch of cool things. And stay tuned next time to episode 41, and maybe we'll start progressing with equivalent exchange or something neat like that, now that I've built this huge nuclear reactor, which I'm pretty happy with, to be honest. So this is Direwolf20's signing off, episode 40. Take it easy.